Greetings Earthlings, I'm back with a multi-pattern XLR condenser mic review for you guys. So today we're looking at this guy, the Audio-Technica AT2050. If you do want to pick this guy up, it will set you back around $230 on Amazon. Like always, I'll throw some links down below. For this review, we're connected to the 2i2 2nd gen, 48 volts on, and my gain at 50%. I won't do any post-processing, EQ, or compression, but I will boost it in post, so check the doobly-doo to see what I did there. Now let's talk about what comes in the box. You're obviously going to get the microphone. You get a plastic shock mount, which does come with a 5/8 inch to 3/8 inch adapter. You get a really nice padded leather carrying pouch, and you get some documentation. As far as the build quality of this thing, it does feel really nice. It's on par with stuff like the Audio-Technica AT2020 and 2035. It has an all-metal body as well as a fairly strong metal mesh grille, and it also has a good amount of heft to it. On the front, you'll find a 3-way switch to move between cardioid, omnidirectional, and bi-directional polar patterns. And then on the back, you'll find two 2-way switches, the first one being an 80 Hz high-pass filter, which will help remove shocks or plosives a little bit. And the second is a negative 10 decibel pad in case you're recording loud sound sources. As far as the specs, this thing has a cardioid, omnidirectional, and bi-directional polar pattern. It has a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and we'll go ahead and look at the frequency response curves for each polar pattern a little later. It has an impedance of 120 ohms, a sensitivity of approximately negative 42 decibels, a max SPL of 149 to 159 decibels, a noise of 17 decibels SPL, and a phantom power requirement of 11 to 52 volts. Right now I'm speaking into the microphone on the cardioid polar pattern, which is the polar pattern you'll likely be using the most if you're recording solo vocals or anything like that. Now the microphone is set on the omnidirectional polar pattern, and this is going to be what you'd want to use to record lots of ambient noise or if you're trying to record entire meetings. And now I'm recording on the bi-directional or figure 8 pattern, which picks up audio in front and in back. This will be the polar pattern that's best for recording multiple people in an interview situation or if you want to do backup vocals with 2 people at once. Now I'm back on the cardioid polar pattern and I'm still in the flat mode. And now I've initialized the 80 Hz high-pass filter, which will help a little bit with plosives, with bumps of the desk, as well as eliminating a lot of the proximity effect. So right now I'm on the cardioid polar pattern, spinning around the microphone to see what the polar pattern actually is, what the off-axis coloration is, and how my voice changes around the microphone. Now I'm on the omnidirectional polar pattern, and you shouldn't really hear any discrepancy in tone as I move around the microphone's capsule. And now I'm on the bi-directional setting, and here you should hear dead spots on either side of the microphone, and you can hear how the tone of my voice changes as we move around the microphone's capsule into the dead areas and back onto the center. Right now, I'm about 3 to 6 inches away from the microphone with the Stedman ProScreen 101, and this is how the microphone is sounding. Back on the cardioid polar pattern, banging on a keyboard with Cherry MX Blues to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard it picks up. Now I'm testing the proximity effect of this microphone. About 1 foot away from the microphone, 2 feet away from the microphone, and 4 feet away from the microphone. Audio-Technica, I'm testing another one of your mics. Maybe one day I'll determine which of your mics that I like. So for lack of a better descriptor here, this microphone is just a very modern sounding microphone, and what I mean by that is it's relatively bright. In terms of pros, the multi-pattern selection on this thing mixed with the pad and the high-pass filter make this a pretty darn versatile microphone. It also did a pretty good job at background noise rejection on the cardioid setting, and the omnidirectional setting is not half bad, especially when compared to other multi-pattern omni settings. And it just has a good build quality and also comes with some nice accessories. But then in terms of cons, if I am being hypercritical of this thing, to my ears, it just doesn't sound that smooth and it almost sounds a little bit crunchy. So as far as the overall sound of this microphone, on the electric guitar, it was just a bit too crunchy sounding for me, and it lacked a little bit in the lower frequencies, and that's likely due to the fact that there is a minor cut in the bass frequencies starting at around 300 hertz. On the acoustic guitar, when the microphone was set at around the 12th fret, it was also a bit too thin sounding for me, but that could be easily resolved by moving the microphone closer to the body. And then on singing vocals, it definitely cuts through a mix because of the broad presence boost from 2 to 12 kilohertz, although as I already mentioned, it does have a somewhat crunchy tone to it. Some people may love it, some people may hate it. I'm personally just not a big fan of that. So would I recommend this thing? I'm just going to go ahead and give you the advice that I give in every multi-pattern mic review that I've done so far, and that would be if you're not going to use all the polar patterns in this thing, you should probably look somewhere else. But then on the other hand, if you do plan on using all these polar patterns and you also like the tone of the microphone, for $230, I think it's a pretty rad mic. Alright guys, I guess that'll do it for today. If you found this video fun, interesting, or helpful, thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. If you want to influence what I review next, head over to geeksrising.com/podcastage and cast a vote there. Want more videos? Logo beneath me. Check out the Discord server, link in the description, and I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.